Peking duck has been evolving almost since it was invented hundreds of years ago. But you know what I haven't seen? How people do it today. So I'm taking you into one of Beijing's most critically acclaimed restaurants, and we're gonna see how they do Peking duck.
A lot of people have this idea about how Peking ducks are made. Blown up with air to separate the skin and the meat, roasted in some ancient oven over wood, all very loving and artisanal. Some of that's still true, but a lot of it is not. In this episode, at Beijing's Sheng Yong Xing restaurant, we're gonna dig into it. Peking duck is so popular in China that entire industries have sprung up, focusing on every step of the process, from duck breeding to pancake suppliers. One estimate says China now eats 200 million Peking ducks every year.
Let's go see the ducks.
Today's breeds all share a few characteristics. They're bright yellow as ducklings, and they turn white as adults, with orange bills and feet. They grow fast and they get fat easily, either through intense feeding in the last month of their life, or increasingly by just being bred that way. These little guys are particularly lucky. They're a fancy breed called Nankou No. 1, a modern commercial breed specifically for Peking duck. And this is a very nice farm that gives them plenty of space to roam around when they're not being stuffed with food. This farm calls itself a small operation at just 1 million ducks a year. It's after their 45 days here that the story really begins. There's 3 major steps in Peking duck: the prep, the roasting, and the slicing. Beyond that, there's a lot of micro steps, many of which can be traced back to a duck roaster from the imperial kitchens named Master Sun, who later went into private business with the Quanzhou restaurant. When he was 70, he finally accepted an apprentice, who then standardized everything so it could be repeated. They've been evolving since then. Here's how it's done in 2025.
像北京的像传统的烤鸭店就是分3个部门，是有前厅、有后厨，就是有鸭房，这是一个做烤鸭的一个专门的体系的一个结构。我是专门负责烤鸭的这一个整套，从选材，从我们的前期的处理，一直到出品这块是我来负责北京这2个店的。
Warning, this next part is a little gory, but it's necessary. After the ducks arrive at the restaurant, they have to be prepped. And this part is still pretty traditional. The organs come out through a small cut under the armpit. Then the duck gets blanched in hot water to tighten the skin. Then it's scalded with a very weak maltose syrup, which helps make the color even when it's roasted, and dried for a few days. And here's where things are new. The next step is not blowing the ducks up with air to separate the skin and the fat. It's the freezer. This is a technique that was invented in the early 2000s by Da Dong, another big chef in the Peking duck industry. It was a huge innovation, driven by modern technology, and it replaced the air pump.
那你以前说过那个鸭子，那个吃鸭子是一个季节性的一道菜吧？那个北京烤鸭以前是在7月、8月，不是最好的时间，是不是？
对，我们的鸭子其实就是最好的季节，养殖的过程当中就是春秋这2个季，对，9月10号、15号左右，到我们的11月15号左右，现在是有了这种工艺的体现，我们的现在的社会的进展，有了冷冻、风干、除湿机、空调这种风扇的，造就了一个春秋的这种场景，让它在一个室温的风干间里，保证这个 18度到23度的这种环境里。
What happens on a technical level is that over the next 3 weeks or so in the freezer, the skin separates from the meat and the water crystals in the fat expand. That creates this kind of spongy matrix that when roasted, and after the water crystals evaporate, leaves this gorgeous aerated puff. It also makes the finished duck less fatty.
就是我们从最早初期是做烤鸭的，是便宜坊全聚德的古老的这种支撑打气，比较油脂比较大嘛。从近20年的历史当中，我们专门做的这种苏布尼的烤鸭，包括我们的早书香烤鸭，是我们的一个招牌。这种是为了现代人们的一个饮食，让更适合现代人的一个饮食需求，做到了酥不腻。鸭皮是酥的，油脂比较少。
Not every place in Beijing does this. Many still use the air pump, not the freezer. But this is probably the future. From here, the ducks are defrosted and then dried a second time under powerful fans before being ready for the roast. Even the ovens have evolved. The Manchus originally just roasted animals in a pit. Then came the closed oven, which burns sorghum stalks. Then the hanging oven, which is the one that's open in front and burns wood. That's the one most people think of when they picture Peking duck. And then there's the modern ovens that most people actually use today, which can be gas or electric or combi ovens or even rotisserie ovens.
技术变化了之后，其实对于大多数的餐厅来说，更加方便的是用电器来进行烤制，然后包括其实像万能蒸烤箱这样非常杰出的工具产生了之后，其实很有帮助烤鸭进行温控。所以说很多餐厅，包括非常有名的餐厅，它其实已经慢慢的放弃了传统的果木烤鸭。
Sheng Yong Xing is cool because they still insist on using wood for the fragrance. So while they're modern in how they prep the ducks with the freezer, they're stubbornly traditional with how they roast them with the wood.
现在因为根据市场环境的要求，有些餐厅是为了人工上为了人工上的减缩，用了电的或者是燃气的，更方便。但是我们不是说只是为了挣钱，只是想把烤鸭老祖宗留下的这个东西，我们要让它发扬光大。就是学了一门手艺，也是一门精神嘛。
The way these ovens work is radiant heat. The ceiling is curved, and the fire only ever burns at the front. Inside the oven, there's 2 rows. The fire transmits the heat up and around the ducks. Sheng Yong Xing's ovens are even modified with a metal plate for extra radiant heat. One challenge with this type of oven, as opposed to a rotisserie, for example, is that the ducks don't naturally brown evenly. The heat radiates downwards from the ceiling. So for one, the breast browns faster than the legs or the butt, which are the thickest and the hardest parts to cook. So that means the chef has to juggle the ducks around constantly, tilting them this way and that way to get an even color, especially on the breast, which is the showpiece part of the duck. Mess that up, and the whole duck is wasted. This is the step everyone sees, the tableside slicing. And if everything's gone well in the previous steps, it should be pretty smooth. In the past couple of decades, there's been this 3-way approach to serving duck. 1, just the skin with white sugar. Then slices that have both skin and meat. And finally pieces of just meat with no skin. And the tenderloin. The condiments have changed a lot over the years too. Decades ago, it was just thin julienne of leeks and the sweet wheat sauce. In the 2000s, someone came up with the white sugar idea, and cucumbers came even later, or at least that's what people tell me. Some chains in China now even add cantaloupe or radishes. At Sheng Yong Xing, you can even add caviar on top of the duck skin if you want. Before leaving Beijing, I asked my friend Weihang for her opinion on the changes in Peking duck. Her and her friends have debated this topic endlessly in podcasts and articles in China.
这个当然就跟我们也会失去我们的童年一样，就是尤其是你吃过就是木头烤的烤鸭，然后对比气或者说是万能蒸烤箱确实不一样。可能万能蒸烤箱的烤鸭会非常的熟度非常的准确，但是它永远代替不了果木带来这个鸭子一上来的时候，忽然绽放的那种木头的香气。我觉得重要的一个时间节点其实是奥林匹克运动会前后，就是2008年前后，因为其实烤鸭的技术迭代从2000年初就开始了，但是其实到2008年，就是中国是一个非常大的开放时期，跟世界做交流。当时北京作为就是举办的城市，它最著名的一道料理其实就是北京烤鸭。因为现在北京烤鸭已经变成一种北京的象征，所以其实特别多的餐厅都会提供烤鸭的菜，所以吃到烤鸭并不是很困难的事情。但是其实每一家烤鸭餐厅它的特色都不一样的，像比如说有的餐厅它是因为景色特别的好，就是你可以看到很漂亮的景色，然后有的餐厅可能是因为价格相对比较便宜。说实话，我觉得一个显而易见的好处是，因为标准化和整体的工业化的进展，所以说其实能够让大多数的人都能吃到一个其实水平还不错的鸭子。那么我觉得其实对于大众来说是一件好事儿。这个是我觉得它特别好的一点，就是其实在北京，只要你去任何一家餐厅，它有烤鸭的提供，那么它相对来说不会特别的糟糕，这样子。但是我觉得，这也带来了一个其他的问题，就是让所有每一家的烤鸭都变得非常的雷同，就是你会觉得你像在吃一个标准化的产品，而少了很多乐趣。当我想吃烤鸭的时候，我还是会选择经典款，因为经典款它不仅非常的极致，它还呼应了我很多记忆，这种记忆的力量会让我一直想吃它。
So this is Peking duck in China, 2025. A massive industry, evolving from air pumps to freezers, from wood-fired cooking to digital combi ovens, trying to match the taste of people in Beijing and across China who want a leaner Peking duck. But for me, Sheng Yong Xing is the right mix. Modern in the prep, but traditional in the roasting. What's up, Duck Bros?